Welcome, welcome, welcome. Flower Mound is up next. How much salary do we need to earn in order to purchase a home in Flower Mound? That's our goal today. How much do we need to make? How much do we need to earn? What's our salary need to be to purchase in Flower Mound, Texas? Flower Mound is one of my favorites, for one, and Flower Mound is really one of the favorites of a lot of people. So Flower Mound is essentially a destination city for a lot of folks because of the incredible real estate that you're going to see today, but also many other amenities, the parks, recreation, real estate, which we already talked about. So we're going to get into it right now. All right, so how much salary do we need to make? Let's dig right into it because we have no time to waste. So as always, we're going to start off with Altos Research, which is a free website that you can go to right now and get real-time information that is happening here in Flower Mound right now. So we'll just read the brief description, then get into the numbers that we actually want to get into. This week, the median list price for Flower Mound is $1.2 million. You heard that right. So Flower Mound is a relatively expensive market to be in, but just keep something in mind real quick. This is the median list price for the week. So essentially, it takes what's happening right now, where overall over the year it's a significantly different than $1.2 million, just giving you a heads up. With the market index hovering around 61, this is about the same as last month's market index of 61. Inventory has increased to 103 properties for sale. So here's what's happening. The market action index basically lets you know right here, right now, at this point in time, within the day basically, is this a seller's market or is this a buyer's market? Since Flower Mound is a destination city, or what I call a destination city, in the sense that people want to live here at the end of the day, this is where a lot of people want to have their dream home and never plan to move out. This is the demand, but two, given that there's really no new construction in Flower Mound to speak of, the lack of inventory at the end of the day is really causing this to be even more of a seller's market. The further away that you get from downtown Dallas-Fort Worth, or essentially any part of Dallas-Fort Worth that's already been built out, the further that you get away from that, well, you're going to see this little indicator move off to the left. Can you see my screen? All right, sorry. You're going to see it move off a little bit to the left because at that point, there's more inventory to speak of. All right, and then you have some indicators. Again, this is all based off a relatively short amount of time, so within the week. So it gives you real life information. As you can see, the huge bump up here is because of that 7-day average, not the 90-day average, which is significantly less. So what does that tell us? That there's a big real estate sale that just happened. And you can see that right here based off of the amount of homes that were factored in this particular market segment. All right, so let's dig into this. Here's what we're gonna do. We are gonna go and do a breakdown over the let me back up. Market segments. Why are we here? The reason that we're here is because, again, it gives you real-time information, but it also breaks down the type of real estate and matches this up with what it currently is being sold for right now. So as an example, homes that are 5 bedrooms, as an example here in Flower Mound, well, they're going for over $1 million. Now, if you're looking for a 4-bedroom, that's a little bit more affordable. If you're looking for a 4-bedroom and 2.5 bath, then you're looking at this type of home. What you're going to notice is that in comparison to other cities that we've covered in the past, whether that's Plano, whether that's Garland, whether that's Crowley, whether that's Burleson, whether that's Fort Worth, you're going to see that the square footage starts off at a much higher amount, meaning that the homes here are generally larger. And you're going to see that with homes in Flower Mound, homes in Southlake, homes in Colleyville. Those types of cities you're going to notice are a little bit bigger. So for our purposes today, we're going to start off with this one. We're going to start off, since we mostly look for homes that are at least a 4-bed and 2 bath. Well, most 4-beds do have beyond 2 baths. We're going to go with a $532,000 price tag, if you will. That's what we're building up to. We need a starting point to understand, well, how much do we need to make? Well, in order to do that, we need to know how much homes are being sold for right now. So for our purposes today, we're going to call this good. We're going to go with $532,000. is what we're going to aim for. Again, Altos Research, it's a really good way to get the real-time pulse of what's happening right now. Absolutely free for you to use. It will be linked down below as well. All right, so now that we have the price, we're going to migrate over here and then zoom in just a little bit. Now, Flower Mound, $532,500. That's what we're going after. At this point, we are through with this website. Now, to give us a better indicator, let me rephrase that, to give us a quick detour, we're going to spend about 20 seconds looking at the type of property that we're even aiming for. Because some of you might be looking at Flower Mound, but don't necessarily know really what the types of homes look like. So as you can see here, there's 255 homes for sale at the present moment, and the average price is significantly higher. Oops, I forgot to do one quick little edit. I want to show you visually what Flower Mound real estate is all about. We're going to spend about 30 seconds here just to give you a really good glimpse. And we're going to go with max price of, we're going to go with we'll go with 650 to give us some, what are we shooting for? 530? Okay, that'll give us a few properties to look at. All right. So there's 37 homes that are priced under $630,000. What I'm going to do is I'm going to move myself out of here. Well, I'll keep myself there, but I'll remove myself, and we're going to zoom in so you see what we're looking at. Now, right out of the gate, you're going to notice some things. We have $150, which you're going to generally see some Argyle and Flower Mound blends. So this is what you're seeing right here. So the smallest price property right now in Flower Mound is $350,000. And you see the different homes that are available for right now. So now we're getting into the $450,000. Then you have the 500,000s. Beautiful homes right here. Check these out. 530, 545, 575,000. As you can see, most of these homes now at the price that we're looking at are over 2,000 square feet, breaking into 3,000 square feet. But now you're also talking about $600,000, right? Cool. Again, we don't spend too much time in our breakdowns. We don't spend too much time doing property tours, or at least going through these homes, because we want to get to the math. We want to get to how much do we need to earn to purchase a home in Flower Mound. What we wanted to do is just give you a very clear, quick visual representation of the type of real estate that we're even talking about. So the number that we're shooting for is $532,000. How much do we need to earn in order to purchase a home of this value in Flower Mound? So we need to get specific. We need to start talking about down payments, interest rates, property taxes, insurance rates, HOAs, income, debt to income ratio, and everything in between. So let's dig in. Down payment. Let's move over here just so you see it. All right, so for the down payment, you can do various down payment amounts, but just a very, very quick breakdown of what loans are. For the most part, if you are purchasing a home and you're not paying it cash, you're going to get a loan one of two ways. You're going to either get an FHA loan or a conventional loan. There's other loan types that we could talk about, but primarily those are the two types of loans that most buyers are going to be purchasing, especially here in Flower Mound. So from an FHA perspective, you can purchase for as little as 3.5% down. So essentially that means 3.5 times the value of the home that you're buying. In a conventional loan, your minimum down payment would be 3%. Now, there are some differences. There are some nuances to an FHA and a conventional. Most of them have to do with the income. Most of them have that you're making. Let me rephrase that. The credit that you have, the income that you're making, or the debt to income that you have. Those are the primary drivers that's going to determine, hey, are you eligible for an FHA? Are you eligible for a conventional? Are you eligible for both? But for the most part, no, just for the general rule of thumb, FHA loans typically tend to cost a little bit more long term, not just with fees, but also with the interest that you're paying. than a conventional. So just wanted to give you that. Now, you do not need to put 20% down to purchase a home. Oftentimes when we have conversations with potential buyers, they're under the impression that they need 20% down to purchase a home. That is not the case. The reason that a lot of people believe that you need 20% down to purchase a home is because 20% down is actually the benchmark that determines if you're going to be paying what's called mortgage insurance or not. So whenever you purchase a home, if you put anything less than 20% down, then you're going to be paying what's called mortgage insurance, regardless if you have an FHA loan or a conventional loan. Whoa, it's storming right now. We might lose internet connection, so I better do this quick. If you do anything less than 20% down, that means that you are going to be paying mortgage insurance. In that case, that means that there's an additional percentage, either 0.5% to a full percentage more on that loan until you get to 20% down. If you have a conventional loan, if you have an FHA loan, there's nothing that you can do to get rid of that mortgage insurance. So as opposed to the conventional loan, if you get to, let's just say you put 5% down and you make payments for 7, 8, 9, 10 years, then eventually you have over 20% equity stake in your property. Well, at that point, the moment that you reach beyond that 20% benchmark, then that mortgage insurance drops off and you no longer have to pay that. And I'm going to give you the exact number of what that would look like here shortly. For our purposes today, we're going to do 5% down. Now the interest rate is going to change daily. So what you're going to want to do, regardless of when you're watching this video, is go to mortgage interest rate today, go to Google, and then see what we're looking at. So right now, let's just say we have the amount's not going to matter for what we're looking at right now. Let's just say we're purchasing a $600,000 property and we're putting 5% down, and we have a relatively good score, so about 720. We're going to put 7.41. So very close to the breakdown that we did on Wednesday. So we go live on Sundays and Wednesdays. So we just did the breakdown on Louisville, so right down the road. So we actually are doing the neighboring cities right now. So Flower Mound is right next door to Louisville. All right, so the interest rate is 7.41%. Now, what does this mean? This means that this is the charge, this is the fee that the bank is charging you. So whenever you get a loan, you're paying primarily 4 different things in that loan at that point. You're paying for the principal, so how much you borrowed. You're paying the interest, how much they charged you for that loan. You're paying the property taxes, and you're also paying the home insurance, all in one. So that's what you're paying for on a monthly basis. That's what ends up being what's called your mortgage payment. How long is your mortgage? We're going to go with 30 years because most of the loans that are out there right now are 30 years. Property tax rates. This is really where we get into some very, very let me backtrack. Property taxes are very important that you need to know, especially here in Texas, given it's the 6th highest property tax rates in the country, New Jersey being number 1. So this means property taxes are a very big deal here in Texas. You're going to be spending thousands of dollars every single year in property taxes, and property taxes are for the life of the time that you own that property. Even if you have it paid out outright, you're paying property taxes, so that does not change. So what we need to do is we need to figure out what is the property tax rate in the city of Flower Mound, because every single city is going to have a different property tax rate. We just talked about Louisville on Wednesday, and that property tax rate is going to be different than Flower Mound, and Flower Mound is going to be different than Denton, which is its northern neighbor. So every single city, you need to have an understanding of what the property tax rate is, because that's what you're going to be paying forever until you get rid of that property or sell that property. So let's dig in. Let's find it real quick, and then I can share a little bit more. Flower Mound property tax rate. So just go back to Google. All right, so this seems to be Cross Timbers Cassette, so that's a website, which is not the website that we're looking for. Whenever you're looking for property taxes, you want to go directly to the city website. You're looking to either go directly to the city website or to the county website. Don't use third-party news articles or aggregators like this, because oftentimes they're off. So just go directly to the website. And what you're also going to notice is that even though it should be very clear as day on their website, oftentimes it isn't. That's what becomes a little bit more challenging. So that's why I like to show you in real time how to navigate it in case your specific city does not give you the numbers right out of the gate. And I can already tell you that this does not do that. So let's see here. Hopefully this isn't a, no, these are just the so my tax dollars, homestead exemption, calculate your taxes. We cannot use calculators, unfortunately, because sometimes, let's see, some of these calculators, yeah, that one's gonna freeze up my streaming software. And some of these calculators actually don't show the math, and that's what we want to see. All right, bear with me. Every city gives us something different. Let's see, what are they offering here? You'd think that they'd make this super simple, but they don't. They do not. Okay, and that didn't download. Oh, is it gonna open? We might need to estimate. I don't like doing that, but if they're not making it easy on us, yeah, that's not gonna work for what we need. Unfortunately, we might need to go to the third parties. I don't like doing that. I don't like doing that because oftentimes they're incorrect. Denton County. No, this is just general information. We're going to go really quick. So this one, let's see if it does. Go with Argyle. Sorry, I'll explain it here shortly. I just want to make 1.788. Yeah, this isn't going to be everything. All right, so we're going to go with 1.8 for now. 1.788. Let me make sure that there's nothing else that's not here. Sorry. I'll explain here shortly, I promise. Okay, so this is a little bit closer to what we need. We're gonna go with the higher number. So Flower Mound has various ISDs. So we're gonna go with 2.27. We're gonna go with the higher number, and I'll explain it here shortly. So, by the way, as you saw 214 there, that was the Louisville rate. But let me explain what was happening right there. Tax rates, they're different all across the board. Two, when you're searching for the property tax rates, just like you saw, cities do not make it easy to find exactly what your property tax rates are. So you saw me go through there through various different ways, and even I've looked at these thousands of times. It's very challenging to find the actual property tax rates. The third thing to understand is that there's three primary tax numbers to look at, and that are going to be uniform, well, not uniform, that you're going to have across the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. There's three numbers to look at, regardless of the city that you're moving into. So each one of the cities that in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex is going to have a city tax rate, a county tax rate, and an ISD tax rate, so school tax rate. Every single city, Louisville, Flower Mound, Denton, Frisco, Little Elm, the Colony, every single city is going to have those three for sure: city, county, and ISD. I believe that this is probably just giving us those three numbers, so that's why I'm doing this with a little asterisk beside it. Now, what many other cities have as well, though, are two additional numbers to add into your property tax calculation. That is the higher education tax, so essentially think of community colleges, and a hospital network tax, so hospital network. Most cities in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex have one of the other two, or both of those. So in many cases, you're going to find that a city that you move into, you need to factor in 5 numbers: the city, the county, the ISD, the hospital network, and the higher education. In this particular case, I didn't see the other two. I didn't see the hospital network, and I also didn't see the higher education part. And that's not abnormal. It's just I just didn't see it for Flower Mound. So for our purposes today, I feel comfortable moving forward in 2.27 percent overall. So that's the entire property tax rate. So what you're going to often find, the fourth thing that I want to share about property taxes, then we can move on. What you're often going to find is when you're looking for the property tax rate, you're going to see the tax rate, but just for the city. So remember those three that I mentioned: the city, county, and ISD. Oftentimes you are going to be able to find the city, and the city is going to be anywhere from 0.35 to 0.8%. And oftentimes we see that and say, oh, okay, well, it's 3.65%. That's my property tax rate. Well, oftentimes that is incorrect. Well, not 100% of the time that's incorrect, because they're only giving you the city. They're not giving you the county. They're not giving you the ISD. So that's why I have to spend so much time here in the property tax rates, because you have oftentimes, whenever you're making your calculation, if you undershoot it by, if right now, if you thought the tax rate was 0.65% as opposed to 2.27%, the difference is thousands of dollars every single year. Then you get into trouble, right? So anyway, we're going to go with this property tax rate of 2.27%. And just to put into context, this is actually on the lower end of the average of the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. The property taxes in DFW from all the cities, all about 90 cities in DFW Metroplex, have on the low end are going to be in like 1.8, 1.9%. On the high end, they touch 3% overall. So this, in the grand scheme of things, when you compare it to other cities in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex, it's actually on the lower end, believe it or not. Insurance rate percentage. So what we do is we just multiply 0.75% times the value of the home to get a reasonable monthly mortgage premium. That's all we're doing here. One suggestion here with insurance rates, especially the way that the premiums are going up right now, shop your insurance every single year. Don't skip a year. Shop your insurance. Get your coverage card, get your coverage sheet, and then do the shopping. Send it out to your insurance people, your contacts. Let them know, hey, I'm shopping out my insurance. Just want to make sure that you every year I have to do that, so I want you to do it as well. I guess I don't have to, but I like saving money. I hope you do too. HOA fees. In Flower Mound, your HOA fees on average are going to be a bit higher. Why? Well, the real estate is larger. The real estate has higher prices, and really, Flower Mound is, again, a very, very desired city. So we're going to go with $600 for the yearly HOA fees. Your HOA might be higher. Your HOA might be lower. Depends on the amenities. Depends on the on the covenants that the builder sells at the end of the day. So that's all going to the meat and potatoes. So now that we have the market information, basically, let's dig into let's put into. Daniel, you have a question in the chat. What if I put 20% down? Well, if I'll do that breakdown here. In reality, it's gonna potentially change your interest rate slightly, not by much, but it will change your interest rate. It's not gonna necessarily affect your mortgage. It's sorry, how long your mortgage is. Property tax rate. It's not gonna really affect that at all. Actually, it's not gonna affect that at all because they're not, doesn't depend on that. Insurance rates. It's not gonna really affect your insurance rate either. Your HOA, same thing. So really what's going to change with your down payment is going to be the amount that you borrow, which is going to be your principal. The interest rate, as mentioned, it will change slightly. So your interest rate is going to look a little bit different. And you're going to notice that your monthly payment is going to be a little bit different, but our monthly gross income. So we're going to leave this as is. Let's just say we make $150,000. We'll put 150. No, we'll start off at 125. Let's say we make $125,000, and then if we have some debt, we need to put it in here. So if you have credit card debt, if you have child support, if you have student loans, if you have car loans, you want to put them here. So just name your debt just for yourself for clarity, and then put the amount here. Now this is linked down below, so make sure that you pick up this sheet, this max price calculator, because it is might be on the loan. So you're most likely, most lenders, most banks are going to allow you up to 3 co-borrowers, but really nothing beyond that. And there's no law against the amount of co-borrowers that you can have, but generally most banks aren't going to allow you more than 3 co-borrowers. So we just give you 2. So you know the debt to income ratio, which is what we're talking about. All right, so now what we're going to do is kind of what gives you basically the loan amount or the value of the property that you can purchase. And what we do is we break it down into essentially risk tolerance, risk profile. So what we would deem a safe loan would be that you can buy a property of this value for the amount of income that you have right now, which would mean about 33% of your net income. We consider that a safe loan, or it's a safe amount, if you will. So that's how the numbers are breaking down. Now, a more conservative approach would be, yeah, you can borrow a little bit more, buy a house that's a little bit higher. That's why we call it the max price calculator. You can buy a house that's $300,000, and that would give you about a $2,900 payment, which would mean 37% of your net income. A moderate risk level, now you're looking at 47% of your income. Aggressive, 59% of your income. Risky, 61% of the income. So here, as you can see, this doesn't actually meet the value of the home that we're trying to purchase. We typically like to get the value of the property that we're trying to purchase in between the moderate and the aggressive risk level. So what we're going to do is we're going to say we make $145,000 a year. And now we've done it, right? So we needed to get. So what this means for us is that we can purchase a home for about $145,000, making $145,000 with that 5% down. With that 5% down, 7.41%, in the property tax rate of that. All right, so now Daniel, it should be in. This should be there. If not, I'll after. No, I'm pretty sure it's there. I will drop it after the live stream for sure. So let me do this. So here, let's just say, keep your eyes on 500 and let's say $450,000. I want to show you what the difference would be there if we put 20% down. So now your purchasing power is a little bit higher. There, you're looking at $533,000 home. Now here's the difference. You put $106,000 down as opposed to the previous number of $22,000. So one of the things that is a little bit hard to comprehend sometimes is that you may be putting this amount of money down and you're thinking that your purchasing power is going to go up considerably. It doesn't, unfortunately. It just doesn't break down that way for several reasons, which we're going to visit here in a little bit. Actually, we're going to visit it right now. So what we're going to do now is I want to show you the breakdown of what that 5% down would look like. But we need this number to be $532,000. So for our purposes, we have the answer. We need $145,000 to purchase in Flower Mound, but I want to give you the breakdown. So don't pay attention to what I'm typing in right now. I'm just trying to force that top number to be somewhere where we need it to be. We need this number to be $532,000. So I'm just forcing it to be that real quick. It's a little bit. Close enough. All right, so if we're looking at a property that we're buying for $530,000, again, this is as close as I could get it to Flower Mound without getting into the specific dollars and all that. If we're looking to buy a house for a Flower Mound house for $530,000, we'll call it, we would need about $26,000 down if we're putting 5% down. Our closing cost would be about $13,000. So coming to the closing table, you're going to need about $40,000. This plus this, you're looking at $40,000. Now, how does this monthly mortgage payment break down? So you're paying about $5,100 a month in your mortgage payment. $3,500 of that is going to go to your principal and interest. Principal, the amount that you borrowed; interest, the expense, so the charge that the bank is giving you for that borrow. Property taxes. Notice how quote unquote high it is. You're paying over $1,000 in property taxes on, which is a bit conservative. It's actually going to be a little bit less because you're most likely not going to pay the assessed value of the property. This is the market value. I don't want to get into the differences right now because it's not. It's going to confuse more than help right now. Just know that on a conservative number, you're looking at $1,000. Realistically, it's going to be a little bit less, but just want to give you a conservative number so you have a understanding that property taxes are a real expense. Homeowners insurance is going to be around $332 a month. Remember, shop that around every single year. That is something that you can absolutely do. Mortgage insurance, until you get beyond that 20% down, you are not going to until you get beyond that 20% down, you're paying mortgage insurance. Once you get beyond that 20% down, if you have a conventional loan, then this mortgage insurance goes away. Now, on an FHA loan, remember, it doesn't go away. Homeowners Association, your HOA, this doesn't go into your monthly mortgage payment. We just budget it in just so you have it because your HOA isn't paid in the mortgage itself. It's actually paid at the beginning of the year. You're going to get a email or a letter from the HOA saying, hey, here's your dues for the year. You have about 30 days to pay it. If you don't, we're going to put a lien on your property. They don't say that, but they do that. So just be aware of that. Your HOA is way more powerful than a lot of people realize, which is a bit shocking. But either way, just wanted to share this the breakdown because it's going to be very valuable for you. And also, Daniel, let me share with you what that would look like if you were to do 20% down. What am I doing? Here we go. What that breakdown would be. Now, you would be able to purchase about $100,000 more because it's not because your purchasing power went that high. It's more because you put $100,000 more into the deal. So you're not paying, you're essentially qualified for the same amount, but you just put a significant amount more money down. As you see here, the difference between, what was that, $26,000? Now you're paying $126,000 at closing. So again, while you can purchase more of a home, it's not because the purchasing power went up. It's more because you put more money into the deal. Closing costs would be relatively the same, not the same. They would be about $16,000. And as you see here, Your interest, your principal and interest would be about $3,500. Property taxes would be a little bit higher. Why? Well, because if it put this number up, let me show you a real comparison on that. That way I'm not comparing apples to apple juice, because it's still going to be close. I can't say apples to oranges. All right, this is close enough. All right. What was your monthly mortgage payment? It was $5,100, I believe. I think that's what it was. So now we put relatively the same max price calculator now. Now this time you put about $105,000 into the deal. Your estimated closing cost of $13,000. So here you're coming to the closing table with about $120,000, which is a difference of from $40,000 to $120,000. You can do the math there. The mortgage payment went down by about $800. The amount of principal and interest that you're paying is substantially lower. Why is that? Well, because you're not asking for as much. So the principal that you're paying back is not as high. It is high, but it's not as high. Your property taxes, that stays the same. Well, the reason that you saw property taxes be higher in that previous calculation is because you were getting approved for a higher amount. So I needed to force that back down to have a true apples to apples comparison. HOA, it's not going to change. Mortgage insurance, this is a big difference, right? So this is, I believe the mortgage insurance was what, $250 a month? Well, since you put 20% down into the deal, into the home, then you do not pay, you're not paying that mortgage insurance from day one because you have 20% equity, right? So again, remember the difference is conventional, you eventually get rid of that. With an FHA, if you don't get 20% down into that deal right from the get-go, then you don't get rid of it. And then the HOA, same thing. The HOA is not factored into your monthly mortgage payment. That's something that we add here just so you can start budgeting. Certain amounts for certain properties, well, you get to see the simulations. Hey, what if I offer 10% less? What if I have to offer 10% more to get that house? Well, it gives you that breakdown of what to expect from a monthly mortgage payment. It gives you that breakdown altogether. It's really a fantastic tool. Now, I do need to encourage you, Graves. He created this tool right here, so this max price calculator. So make sure that you go out there and show him some love, because this is the exact one that we use here internally when we're doing buyer discovery calls with our clients. Anyway, folks, I appreciate the heck out of you. Go ahead and check out the link in the description. Now, if you are interested in making a move, whether that's here in the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex in Texas or across the entire country, we have agents everywhere. So we'd love to support you in any way that we can. So reach out. Our contact information is down below. And also our email is admin@highmericenters.com. So feel free to reach out. Thanks.